Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. My name is Ashley Moy and I'm the CEO of Cast 21, a startup here in Enterprise Works. So Laura asked me to speak with you all today about my journey from starting the company to where we are today. Just to give you a little bit of background, I finished my degree at the University of Illinois. I have my BS in bioengineering, the College of Engineering here. And I spent a lot of my undergrad life in academia and trying to figure things out in the research lab. About halfway through my undergraduate career, I got pretty sick and I realized that what I was doing may not be what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I missed a bunch of school classes as well as lab work, and this is what my life kind of looked like to myself at the time, and what I saw in the future as well. And I asked myself, what am I doing? What can I do? I have missed so much school now. I'm so behind in all of my research. What am I doing with my college career and my life beyond? While I was asking those questions, I also ran into my now co-founder, Jason Troutner, who asked a similar question, the second question, not the first one. And we decided that we wanted to make a change for ourselves and really find a way to leave our last impact with the University of Illinois. We were both going into our senior years, and we felt that going through school in general, especially we felt in college and a lot of the engineering coursework, we are given tasks all the time, and we are given the problems to solve. And part of being an engineer is that we want to be able to create the answers, not just regurgitate them back in a lot of the textbook problems that we were looking at. So we wanted to create something new for ourselves. Jason was a mechanical engineer. He got his mechanical engineering degree, and with my experiences in bioengineering, we decided to try to pull together and do an interdisciplinary senior design project. We decided that we would overlap in a lot of our expertise, specialty, and knowledge if we were able to do something within a medical device. We brainstormed for about a month trying to find a project that both of us were very excited about and thought that we knew enough about to actually get off the ground. There were very few interdisciplinary projects within the College of Engineering senior design programs, especially within our own departments. My department at the time had only been 11 years old, and his mechanical engineering department didn't allow it. So we really needed something that was going to be groundbreaking enough where the departments would okay our decision to do something different. And when we came to the idea of CAS, Jason was so passionate about solving this issue because he had been in over 50 of them. My colleague has been in CAS for nearly 3 years of his life due to birth defects, surgeries, and then he became a gymnast and broke a bunch of other bones. He was so adamant about solving this issue that when we were in Granger Library in one of the study rooms and we started talking about CAS, I grabbed a marker off the table and ran to the whiteboard and said, keep going with this. What are all the things that you wish you had in your dream device? What were the things that you really struggled with? And from there, we decided that there is nothing else that we want to solve more than this issue. So we took advantage of a lot of the different resources that the University of Illinois here in Champaign offered to us through the research part, through our classes, the COSAD New Venture competition, as well as really leaned on our mentors in the greater network of the university in Chicago and also in Beach Coast. So I also want to point out, just real quick about these photos. So all the way on the right here, this is my colleague Jason. We decided to participate in a hackathon here at the University of Illinois. One of the many things that we decided to do in addition to our senior design, or kind of to bolster it, if you will. So we stayed up for about 36 hours making what you're looking at as the first design that most closely represents the device that we use today. Next to that, we have my team at the time at the COSAD New Venture competition. Another day where we didn't sleep very much the few nights before and doing cheers to the big competition with none other than chicken nuggets. That's kind of all we could afford at the time. And then us at a networking event, Clever Bridge, Craig Vodnick, who's also an EIR here at Research Park, who's a really good mentor to us as well, and he hosted that party. we officially switched from pure senior design to, wow, maybe this could be something. After our first pitch competition in the St. Louis University. We were on a trip. Actually, we decided to do our senior design project in the ECE department. They were really supportive of us doing an interdisciplinary project, so they were very welcoming to having all of us in there and using their resources. And one of our professors, Professor Carney, took us to Chicago to really better understand and experience the healthcare community that was going on there. And while we were out there, I got an email from the professor in my department saying, hey, our senior design, one of our teams is in a competition. They're in a pitch competition. Here's the video and their link. Please go vote for them. And I thought, well, why aren't I in that competition? Why aren't we in there? We could totally do this. So I called my team and I said, we're going to make a video. It's got to be 60 seconds. It's for an elevator pitch. And it's due at midnight. So from the time we got the email in Chicago, going all the way back home, in 6 hours we shot, edited, submitted the video, and won the pitch competition later. So that was really fun for us, and the first time we thought, oh wow, maybe we have something here. Maybe we could have a viable business and not just a senior design project. Pitching has become a large part about what I'm doing today, even at the company, and one of the big pieces of advice that still sticks in my mind from another fellow female entrepreneur on the very first day of my accelerator last summer was always be pitching. So, you guys are all going to pitch to each other. So, find someone at your table, and for the next minute, I'll set a timer for you. I would like you to talk about your favorite vacation. Okay, so find a friend. Ready? Go.
I'll let them
I feel is very important for all of us here, in whatever our field is going to be our ability to effectively communicate what we're trying to show, whether that's in spoken word, with visuals, or physical products. So, on the other side of that, you being able to communicate, there's also the listening aspect. So, to the people that you were not speaking to, present whoever you listen to's favorite vacation for the next minute. To whoever's listening to that story, if you're listening to the one that's just being told about yourself, take note of what they remembered about your story. What did they find sticky about it? And then think back about what you were doing when they remembered those parts. What did your body language look like? And keep that in mind when you're doing this as well. Does this make sense? You are sharing the other person's vacation, and you, who is listening to your own story, is taking note of what they remembered. Got it?
So we have two different vacation stories since I got to be in the middle. I don't remember how to went to Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. On the other side of the table.
Just completely botch your story and does anyone want to share? Oh, well, that's a good thing then, I guess. No one messed up their stories. It's just a fun little exercise that you guys can continue to do and do your best. So after we decided that, yes, this can be more than a senior design project, we went all in, jumped feet first into two different accelerators. And an accelerator is a program that helps bring idea concept into a business. And we did two in two different states. It was very interesting trying to balance things. We did one right here in Urbana-Champaign, and the other one was in Memphis, Tennessee. So we put one person in Memphis and one person in Champaign, and I commuted. So every now and then, about every 3 weeks, I drove the 6 hours from here to Champaign, stayed here for a few days, and then went back to Memphis for a few weeks. And I really think we were able to do that well, again, because we were able to communicate very frequently and very well with each other. And luckily we had a lot of tools like Skype and Google Hangouts to be able to do those things as well. We have been through so many iterations of our CAS design, trying to make the ideal structure that will work not only from a medical standpoint, but would also provide the best user experience for our physicians and our patients. So one of the very first models that you guys are looking at that we took to the St. Louis University pitch competition is all the way on the left. Can anyone tell me or guess what that's made out of? Yes.
Plastic, is it 3D 3D printed?
I think it's a type of polymer, yes, but it's not 3D printed.
Okay.
It's hot glue dipped in polyurethane. So we took a bunch of strings of hot glue and molded it around with a paintbrush to get the shape that you're looking at here. And then filled a cup with as much of this plastic that kind of works as an epoxy, so it starts as a liquid, and just dipped it in there a bunch of times. And we were doing this in my room, or in my kitchen, so I was using chopsticks in a Chinese takeout container, dipping this thing over and over and flipping it over so that it would fit. And then finally, at the end of that summer, with the accelerators experience, we finally got a prettier design here that is actually made with a lot of the similar materials that we're using today over here on the right. So happy to say since then, right after the accelerator program, we were able to raise some funds. We are venture capital backed now, and for about 6 months, that is all I did with the company. Travel around and try to raise funds. And I realize as a CEO that is your job. That is your only job. To make sure that your team has the resources necessary to bring the products to fruition. So we have gone through a team makeover many times over the past 2 years since we started from design conception all the way through to today where we are now. So we've grown, we started as 3 people in a college class all the way through to about 10 people, and now we are 4 and soon to be 3. So really ebbing and flowing and managing that, and without everybody we would not have been able to reach where we are today. So here we see almost the final design here, much cleaner, much nicer, not made out of hot glue or we didn't use chopsticks this time. We have completely redone our marketing face and our website, and we're very excited to say that we are slated to launch before the end of this year, and hopefully you'll see us in these states in the next few months. Thank you so much. Oh, and I just want to wrap up here and saying these 2 questions still stand very clear in my mind all the time. What am I doing and what can I do? But I'm really thankful that with Cast 21 and with all the great people that I work with, I've been better able to define what that is for myself. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your food and your talk. At this point, I will take any questions.
I have a very specific question, sorry. What did you guys have to do any UX specific medical testing? Like, I'm just wondering about that as like a standard. Did that come into your process at all?
Great question. So, no, is it a standard? We don't have to keep any kind of international standards of compliance or anything to do that, but we definitely make sure we take all of our iterations to clinical experts because they will be the ones using them. I think through that really fast. Any questions about my experience, company?
Have you had medical studies performed with this device?
We have not yet had any medical studies, but we have one slated actually at the Carl Health System here in Champaign.
Have you had any issues? Is there going to be any confidential security? And like airport security and things like that? Is it going to be any different than other tests?
Great question. So the question was, can this get through airport security? And yes, I've actually worn it multiple times through the airport. And the last time I did, I was going to Austin, and the TSA screener said, "Hey, I've seen that before." I was like, no, you haven't. It's like, no, really, that's a Cast 21. I was like, really? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Apparently he saw some like imager or something like that. So that was a really cool moment for me.
So I imagine with dealing with the healthcare industry, there's a lot of regulation. It's a highly regulated industry. Have you come across different barriers because of breaking into a highly regulated industry?
Definitely. So the question was, have you experienced specific challenges working in a regulated industry? Definitely, of course, medical device is one of the most highly regulated industries, probably right under pharmaceuticals. So we definitely jump through hoops with the FDA, with insurance reimbursement, and then there are other acts and laws that dictate what we can and can't say about the product and what we can and can't give away to healthcare professionals during trainings and freebies, if you will, to kind of promote your product. Yes?
How will the process work for a patient? How will they, if a doctor is using a CAS-21, how does it work? They submit the mold to you, or?
Great question. So all of these are prefabricated and you grab a product off the shelf to use it. So much like a glove or a sock, you would just pick the size that best suited yourself, and it would kind of stretch and mold over your limb as you would pull it on, again, much like a glove or a sock. Then it would harden into the material. Yes?
What other competitions are there in the industry? What are other players doing and how do you differentiate?
CAS-21 makes the only breathable, lightweight exoskeleton that's also waterproof, that can mass manufacture at scale and is ambidextrous. As far as players in the field, we have 3M, McKesson, Delta, big major medical device companies that make the standard of care, as well as companies like Donjoy that make thermoformable materials. So that's, you'd have to put it in a toaster or use some kind of external catalyst before you can actually get your material to be moldable.
How much does it cost to make?
We don't currently have economies of scale, but we anticipate that it will be close to what the current standard is. Yes?
This is more of an educational question. I know that there are a lot of engineering-oriented undergraduate programs that are incorporating some kind of courses in entrepreneurship or partnering with the business school. So if you had to design one or two courses for undergrads that you would have benefited from, what would that course content look like?
It would be a 12-week long course, or 15 weeks. You would drop out of school and start a company. I think that's honestly the best way that anyone can learn how to do something like that, is to just jump in and really have to learn it and fight for it. There's nothing like your own and everyone else's salary and healthcare you have to pay to add a little fire under your butt. Yes? The question was, did you talk to potential users when you were developing your prototype? Absolutely and definitely. We probably talked to more than 200 people, users being patients, potential patients, athletes, as well as medical professionals, technicians, medical assistants, physicians, surgeons. We hustled. We reached out to all of our networks. So the question was, how did you find these people to talk to? As far as the patients go, we reached out to our personal networks through social media, just asking people that we saw on the street with a device. We're not shy, we will just go up to people and ask them. And then going into clinics and sitting there and saying, hi, I'm here to see Dr. So-and-so. Don't worry, I'll wait, it's okay. And just making sure that we get to speak to someone there. It really helped us that we were on 2 National Science Foundation grants through the I-Corps program to be able to go into some of these places and instead of saying, hi, I would like to sell you something, we could say, I'm a student at the University of Illinois. I'm on a National Science Foundation grant to learn more about how resources flow through your organization. Does Dr. So-and-so have time to talk? And then they're usually more inclined to help with something like that. You be creative in how you get into these places. Through the National Science Foundation organization, they said that if you don't get kicked out at least once in one of these things, you're not trying hard enough. Yes?
When it came to converting it from a project to a business, how did you figure out how to go through that process? Were there people who
Great question, which was, what did that process look like going from project to business? What are the differences and who is there to help us? So we learned everything, just about everything we know from the business side by going through these accelerator programs. These are people specifically there there to help and mentor people from the project stage into turning it into the company. And the biggest thing with a company that makes a company more than just a project is, do you have a scalable business plan? Meaning, do you have a reliable way to feed yourself and your employees? That's a really high level. Did that help answer your question? Any other questions? Yes.
Was it scary to not go the novel route when you graduated, see the job, started the company?
The question was it scary to not do a stable route? Definitely, but I don't regret it. When I was a senior, I remember going to career fair with my boyfriend, and I really thrive in competitive, high-stress environments. So I went over to every single recruiter and I said, I'm looking for a fast-paced, challenging role with a lot of responsibilities and near impossible deadlines. What positions do you have open? And they're like, we have this entry-level engineering job. So not even a half hour later, I walked out of the ARC, I texted my boyfriend, I said, I'm done. We just got here, what do you mean? You're done. I said, I'm done, I can't find something that I really want to do, so I'm going to make something myself. And that's kind of where I've been since then. Any other questions? So I guess a few final thoughts, because I want to loop this back to the whole women in tech theme. And the first one is to find a mentor, regardless of where you are in your career or your age. Obviously, I'm very young and I just started CAS 21, but having a female mentor early on really made a difference for me, because we understood some of the same issues that were going on, not just, of course, in entrepreneurial life, but also personal life, things that maybe other people, maybe other guys don't really understand. I'm really young. I definitely think about having a family, balancing family work life, and that's usually not a conversation that I can have with a lot of my male mentors. And another thing that I just wanted to throw out there is to not get discouraged if you get put up against some kind of microaggression. I didn't even know it existed, honestly, before I jumped really headfirst into this. That sounds really bad, I understand. But we live in a really privileged community here. I feel that in Urbana-Champaign and the University of Illinois, especially in my department, my major, we were 54% female. Like, I really didn't experience too much of that. And then when I get into the world of STEM, entrepreneurship, business, is usually one of only, maybe the only, or one of two only females in the room. We'll walk in and guys don't talk to me about the business. They talk to the guys about it. And I run the business. Granted, they are the right people to talk to for the tech, but I run the business. People before asking, oh, and what do you do at CAS 21? They said, and you must do marketing, right? Or, oh, and how's the PR going? Which is definitely a part of what I do, but it can definitely be a little bit discouraging. Don't give up on that, and lean on your mentors and your community a lot within your own circles. And on that, a lot of times people are not trying to be malicious. They're not trying to put you down, so don't look at it as that if you experience any kind of these things. Even that wasn't the best note to end on. I feel like people are a little bit down. Yes?
Your future, where do you go from here?
That's a loaded question. Can you expand on that a little bit? The question was, where do you go from here?
I mean, you're not going to stick, are you going to stick with CAS 21 all your life? Or you have other plans?
So, what is the future with me and with CAS 21? So, it's a little early to be thinking about that right now because we haven't launched our first product. Typically, with a company like ours, it would be acquired by a larger company. I have a few other plans for potential ventures, other personal adventures and endeavors that I want to pursue, as well as family life. So it'll honestly largely depend on how old I am when this is said and done. Yes?
How did the company name come about? I get CAS, of course, so what's the 21?
21st Century Orthopedic Solutions is where the namesake comes from. And we're still open to suggestions if you guys have something better. Okay, thank you so much again for joining us. Appreciate it.